In the name of Allah, the merciful, the beneficent, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. It is Allah alone that we worship. It is His aid that we seek. I come to y'all in peace in the Arabic language. Assalamu alaikum. Trying to see where should we go? Where should we go? I guess I start off with the first thing, since it's sitting on top already. Question. Y'all, what's the very first thing that messed up Adam and Eve? Shouldn't take so long. What's the very first thing that messed up Adam and Eve? For any one of y'all who interested. If you're not interested, then don't feel free to ask the question. I'll answer. What? The very first thing that messed up Adam and Eve was that they ate the wrong food. Yes? No? God told Adam in the Bible. Get your Bible. The Lord said to Adam, in Genesis chapter 2, verse 15, the Lord God took the man and put him in the garden of Eden to work it and take care of it. And the Lord commanded the man, you are free to eat from any tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for when you eat from it, you will certainly die. Well, that's the very first thing that messed up Adam and Eve. They ate the wrong food. There's all type of food. Food for thought. Have you ever heard that expression? Or what you mentally eating, physically eating, and spiritually eating. Jesus said, my flesh is real food. My blood is real drink. Mentally, physically, and spiritually, you are eating. Jesus said, man, don't live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God. You're supposed to be feeding on God's word. I'm gonna tie all this up in a minute. But long story short, many people still making the very first mistake Adam and Eve made, and that's eating the wrong food. Peace and blessing be upon the dear apostle, who was risen up, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Y'all see that man? A black man represents you and me. A man who made it to the 4th grade educational system, stood up in America and shook America in a way where black people cannot shake it. It's whether you got eyes that see or you don't. But even if you was blind, you can still see the work of God that this man has done. He also gave us a book, which I'm dive into, called How to Eat to Live. I think it's quite cool that this book, I did not buy it. This is a book called How to Eat to Live. I didn't know I had little markers in it. It's up. This is a book called How to Eat to Live. Get there with it. Got my little marks. This is a book called How to Eat to Live. You done said it 3 times, Rashada. I'll say it again. This is a book called How to Eat to Live, from God in person, Master Fraud Muhammad, by Elijah Muhammad. I think it's quite cool. I ain't buy this book of my own. It was given to me. I think I like this book, Message to the Black Man in America, by Elijah Muhammad. Peace be upon the dear apostle. Why you talking? You said earlier you ain't buy these books. Who gave it to you? I think it's pretty cool. My mother gave me these books. All right. I think that's pretty cool. If nothing else can be remembered, said or done, fact that I came across these important pieces of literature, I will always remember. And it's a blessing. God always will give you exactly what you need to get you through. I didn't buy this book of my own. It was given to me by my mother. From my mother. One of the sweetest things she could have possibly did. All right. Let's dive on in to How to Eat to Live. Give y'all love it. Chapter 1, page 1, the right way to eat. There's no way for us to learn the right way to eat in order to live a long life except through the guidance and teachings of Allah, who came in the person of Master Fard. The R needs to be rolled, but you can be pronounced it Fard, Master Fard, or Master Fard. The R got to be rolled. Master Fard, Master Fard, Master Fard. That's how you truly pronounce it. Master Fard. Like the R got to be rolled, but Master Fard is understandable too. The Bible says that He will give us more life, abundancy, but He demands strict obedience to His will. There is no way of prolonging the life of human beings or any other life unless it begins with the restrictions, of the foods which sustain life. The right kinds of food and the proper time when it should be taken into our bodies. Jehovah taught Israel how to live, but Israel rebelled against the law of Jehovah, handed down to them through Moses, the servant of Jehovah. There are many Jews today called Orthodox Jews who try to eat in order to live. They are careful of the type of food that goes into their stomachs. They will not slaughter an animal without trying to drain that animal's blood out of its body before taking it for food. They will not accept diseased animals, birds, or fowls. We give credit to the Jews for still trying to obey that which they were ordered to do by Allah through the prophets that Allah sent to them. The Jews paid the penalty for disobedience and are still paying. However, they are the only people the Holy Quran teaches whose food we can't eat. They in turn can eat our food. The Muslims who try to live according to the teachings of the Holy Quran will not eat the wrong food when they know what that food is. Absolutely. Once you know something poisonous and deadly, you stay away from it. Of course, those who are becoming converts to Islam in America, my followers are being tried. The Christians, the white and black, try to force or deceive my followers into eating foods they know we, the Muslims, do not approve. In prison, they almost starved my followers, trying to force them to eat filthy, poisonous swine flesh. This I know because when I was in prison, they did the same to me. Thanks to the coming of Allah in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, if we obey what He has given to us in the way of proper foods and the proper time to partake of these foods, we will never be sick or have to pay hundreds, thousands, or millions of dollars for doctor bills and hospitalization. The Christian people have one of the most brutal ways of killing animals for their food. Many of their animals are killed under fright and excitement. They actually murder the animals they eat. We, the Muslims, who have not been able to go out to the slaughterhouses, we, the Muslims, who have not been able to go out to the slaughterhouses as yet to choose our meat, as the Orthodox Jews are doing, slaughter our animals or cattle at a time when they least expect it. We take their lives in the name of Allah with a prayer over this condemned life to be used to sustain our lives. Allah has taught me to eat in order to live. I have been teaching it to my followers, but we often become negligent and fall victim to our own negligence. As a result, we are calling a doctor or going to the hospital because we did not eat the right foods and in the proper way. Hereafter, I shall enforce restriction on my followers to eat as Allah bids us. As I have said to my followers on many occasions, life cannot be prolonged unless we are careful of what we eat and when we eat. The foolish idea of eating 3 or 4 times a day and between meals is like the poisonous swine who never has any regular eating habit. The hog, however, swallows as long as he can, and then regrets that he can't keep swallowing. He will crawl into his food and wait till he can swallow some more. He is so greedy, he won't leave his food. Thanks. Virtually all vegetables are good to eat except collard greens and turnip salad. The roots of turnips do very well, but not the salad. Cabbages are good, especially the whitehead, but not the green leaves. Cauliflower is a really fine vegetable, but take away the green leaves. There are a lot of other good vegetables that have been grafted from original vegetables. Though some of the grafted vegetables are not good to eat, do not eat the vegetable called kale. Eat some spinach, but do not become an habitual spinach eater. Eat rutabaga a little every now and then. You may eat as much garlic and onion as you like, but no sweet potatoes and no white potatoes. Sweet potatoes were never good for any human to eat. They are good for hogs, but not for you. White Irish potatoes are a food for people who live in frigid zones, a staple food for such as Europe, Northern America, and Canada. But potatoes and rice are too starchy for you and me. They laden us with too much starch and fat, which are friends to diabetes. Sweet potatoes are full of gas. Do not eat them. There are many more vegetables you will find edible or forbidden to eat in this book. If you like, write me for information on other vegetables not mentioned here. Peas. Allah forbids us to eat peas. He considers most peas fit for cattle and herds of animals, but not for the delicate stomachs of human beings. No black-eyed peas, field peas, speckled peas, red peas, or brown peas. Do not eat the split peas you find in the store. Peas, collard greens, turnip greens, sweet potatoes, and white potatoes are very cheaply raised foods. The southern slave masters used to feed them used them to feed the slaves, and still advised the consumption of them. Most white people of the middle and upper class do not eat this lot. Do not eat this lot of cheap food, which is unfit for human consumption. Beans, dry. No beans did he advise, except the small navy, the small size and not the larger size, the little brown pink ones and the white ones. This bean he valued to be very high in protein, fats and starches, and is a safe food for prolonging life, as you will find most of the Muslims like their bean soup. These beans are dry beans. He said that he could take one of our babies and start him off eating the small dry navy bean soup and make that child live 240 years. He described no other bean. This dry bean or pulse is of ancient origin. It was this bean, according to certain historians, that Daniel preferred for himself and his followers in the prison of Nebuchadnezzar. Do not add rice and meats to these beans, because they contain proteins, fats, and starches. Fruits. Virtually all fruits are good. We eat apples, oranges, bananas, pears, peaches, tangerines, mangoes, plums, grapes. Do not eat processed, dried grapes. Eat natural, sun-dried grapes, pomegranates, lemons, and grapefruit. Word. Bread. Eat whole bread, but not whole grain. It is too much for the digestive system. Eat wheat, never white flour, which has been robbed of all its natural vitamins and proteins, sold separately as cereals. You know as well as I that the white race is a commercializing people, and they do not worry about the lives they jeopardize so long as the dollar is safe. You might find yourself eating death if you follow them. Word. He flatly forbids us to eat cornbread. He flatly forbids us to eat cornbread. The white race and some African people used to live off cornbread because it is cheaply made. It is not good for human consumption because of its potency, which only animal stomachs are able to digest. Positively, do not eat cornbread. If you must or are forced to eat it, he said, cook it 2 or 3 times. Put it up, sour it with a good yeast, dice onions into it, and let it ferment like wheat bread. After this, cook it 2 or 3 times. Never eat fresh hot corn muffins or hot cakes and syrup. Never eat fresh hot corn muffins or hot cakes and syrup. When you eat half-cooked bread, it shortens your life as well. As all bread will rise again in our stomachs, buckling our stomach and intestinal walls. The more it is cooked, the less this will happen. Rye bread. If it is cooked enough, it is fine to eat. It is not good for office people. They are not active enough to digest such a bread. It is good for a working man doing manual labor Office workers should not even eat baked beans, nor beans with rice and meat in them, because their jobs do not permit them enough activity to digest heavy foods. Yeah, some stuff people eating, if you ain't really moving, that is true. If you ain't really moving, if you just sitting, if you eat and just sit, it will do something to you. Versus if you eat and then kind of like moving around. Word. Word. That do mean something. A lot of people like work office jobs, you just eat and don't move around as much. That junk kind of mess you up. Certain foods you eat. Because you ain't burning no calories. You ain't moving or doing nothing. That junk will mess you up just eating and just sitting. Word. Some of y'all who actively lifting stuff up, moving, your body will burn stuff better because you moving. Word. There's a lot of truth in that. Prepare your own food. Take time and prepare your own foods. Do not kill yourselves by running to the store, buying processed foods to eat. And never buy those ready-made biscuits. We plan to install health food departments in our bakeries, grocery store, and restaurants soon. Watch for them. Do not eat the highly rich soybean. Soybean. Do not eat the highly rich soybean, which is a new flour on the market. These beans are for cattle, not human beings. The oil from soybeans is not good for our stomachs. Soybean flour is being mixed with wheat flour by the flour mills. In fact, the Christians are experimenting with all foods. They do not care what they eat as long as it does not kill them instantly. Beware. For good health, we should raise and prepare our own food. As I said in this book, the white race is a commercializing race by nature. It is the almighty dollar they are after, not long life. All right. Remember, cook your bread thoroughly. Make thin rolls so that you can cook them well done. The rolls should be sliced, and those slices of bread should be toasted through and through before they are eaten. There is no such thing as being too stale. Actually, stale bread is better on your stomach and digestive system. Positively eat no nuts. The eating regulation in this book are a must with my followers. Begin at once. Eat only one meal a day, regardless of the work you are doing. Do not put lard in your bread. What is lard? Butter or something. Fat. The butter, fat, whatever lard is. I heard people talk about lard, but forgot grease or something. Do not put lard in your bread. Whatever lard is, it's like grease or something. I heard that word before. It's like an old person word. I type it on the phone real quick. What is lard? What is lard? What is lard? Lard is a rendered semi-soft white cooking fat derived from pig fatty tissue. All right. I don't cook, so I don't see a lot of that word. But I remember the old people. I remember I hear a few old people say that word, but they got some lard or something. I ain't know it was pork fat. Word, pork oil. Word up. Make you think sometimes. What is these people doing? Word. Yeah, y'all just doing stuff. Many of us not asking no questions. I wouldn't even know. That's in the damn. Y'all go to Burger King somewhere. It's in the damn burger. Maybe I don't know. I'm just saying. You don't know neither, because you ain't watching them cook the food. Ain't no telling what they put in the food. They could spit on it for all you know, and you don't taste nothing, because you got it sauced up. Word. You know, you don't know what they doing. Word. But anyway, they eat only one meal a day, regardless of the work you're doing. Do not put lard in your bread. Use vegetable oil, corn oil, pure butter, olive oil, or whatever good vegetable oil you choose. Keep any hog or swine out of your foods. Do not eat fried or hard baked foods if you can avoid them. When it comes to meats, no fried chicken or steaks, nothing fried. Fried foods are hard on your digestive system and will cut your life and will cut short your life. Food God suggests. What food does Allah suggest? He suggests the food that is good for us and does not make us ill. Food that is for human consumption and not for animals. Never before have we gone so far astray. The European white race, blessed with the privilege of eating the best food the earth provides, has taught us to eat the worst, divinely prohibited food. We eat all the time, 3 or 4 times a day. This is enough to wear out the intestines of a brass monkey. Eat a single meal a day, no matter what anyone says. If your doctor says that you should eat more than 1 meal a day, ignore him with a smile and eat only once a day. If he tells you he eats 3 meals a day, tell him that his length of life is about the same as his patience. Then tell the doctor to try eating 1 meal a day. The more idle our stomachs are, the longer they will last. The more we tax our stomach, the sooner it wears out. We all try to live as long as we can, because nature never teaches us that we should not try to live. We do not have a nature that teaches us to die or teaches of life somewhere else. No matter how staunch a believer the Christian may be in a life after the grave, no matter how staunch a believer the Christian may be in a life after the grave, if he gets sick, he sends for the doctor. He prays to stay on here and not to go to the unknown, correct? Where basically what the apostle saying is, no matter, even if you believe in the afterlife, you want to keep as much life as you can here. I believe in the afterlife. Of course I want to rise up from the dead. And I hope things is better on the other side. But on this side, I'll make as best I can too as well. Word. You know, I don't want to die. I want to live and see some goodness on this side. You know, word. That's what he's saying. No matter how staunch a believer the Christian may be in a life after the grave, if he gets sick, he sends for the doctor. You're damn right. He prays to stay on here and not to go to the unknown. Word. When you get sick, you ain't praying, Lord, take me away from here now. You saying, Lord, make me better. Right? That's what we do. Right? To live a long time, Allah and the person of Master Fraud Muhammad has taught me, life must begin with the type of food that will prolong life. We have been talking about bread. There are people so poor. There are people so poor, they have no choice And there are some so rich who still have no choice. Whole wheat bread, cooked thoroughly, is the best bread. It should be ground very fine. It can be ground almost as fine as its white kernel. Never eat cornbread. As I said, rye bread is all right for the hard working man. Even at that, it should be cooked twice. The Christian civilization has taught the so-called Negro slave to eat freshly baked bread, white biscuits or white rolls, just out of the oven, and it scorns old bread, which is better for the stomach than freshly baked bread or cakes. There are many foods we would like to teach you not to eat, but at the present, so many of you cannot avoid eating them. We must prepare and grow our own food because this is a highly commercialized world. They graft a lot of food, and some of this food is not good for our stomachs. Soybean flour is very rich and not good for our stomachs. Our stomachs are too delicate for soybean flour. Therefore, leave those beans alone. The animals, especially cattle and hogs, love them. Grind them up and they will eat them. They are very high in protein. The lima bean is another large bean advertised by the devil for you to eat, which will almost burst the lining of our stomach and intestines. Again, the lima bean is another large bean advertised by the devil for you to eat, which will almost burst the lining of the stomach and intestines of a Texas bull. They said that one is good for the nigger. They said that one is good for the nigger. Do not eat the smaller ones either. The ones they call baby lima beans, baby belly busters, pastries and cakes, the kind made with crusts, of white flour and sweetened with white sugar, so sweet you can still taste them the next day, are not good for our stomachs. All this hastens you to the graveyard sooner than you would like to go. We should eat fruit and fruit pies. I love that little black blueberry pie, huckleberry, as we call it in the South. But do not make it with white sugar or crusts of white flour. Use brown sugar and whole wheat flour for your pie and cobbler crust. Apples are better when eaten raw than when made into pies. Apples are better when eaten raw than when made into pies. This goes for pears, peaches, and bananas. All fruit is better for you raw than cooked. When fruit is raw, we get the benefit of its natural vitamins. If possible, never eat cooked fruit. If you must eat meat, always eat the cleanest, such as healthy and tuberculosis-free beef. The lamb is the best. Most beef is too coarse for our stomach. The lamb is a much finer grain meat. Eat small young pigeons, swabs, which have never flown from their nests. Do not eat any bird that has been free to fly around and look for its own food. This is the teaching of Allah to me. Chickens are not fit to eat. You have to nurse them so carefully to keep them away from filth. If you would like to find good food, such as lamb, beef, or even chicken, if you are a Muslim, buy it from the strictly Orthodox Jew. Be certain it is an Orthodox kosher market, because some Jews eat the pig. Orthodox Jews are excellent in protecting their health, even spiritually, trying to do and eat like the prophet Moses or Moses. Taught them through the divine teachings of Allah. If you respect yourselves as Muslims, the spiritual Orthodox Jew will respect you. Of course, no one will respect you unless you respect yourself. Do not eat ground meat unless you see it ground. Do not buy the Christian ready prepared ground meats at the market, Food Line, Wally World, wherever y'all go to. Any of these stores y'all go to, think, name, or claim. They don't know where this stuff coming from. I told you, y'all go to the restaurants all the time. You don't even know who cooking your food. They could spit in your food and you wouldn't know it, wouldn't be able to tell. Let alone buy something that's been packaged and wrapped up from a whole different other place. Ain't no telling what it went through. Ain't no telling how long it's been there. They just throw it in some ice, froze it up, and sent it on its way. And then they're going to de-thaw it when they get to you. And then refreeze it. And then de-thaw it and put it back out. And they do this every day. They got to. Because stuff don't last that long. And meat ain't supposed to last a long, long time. Word. These people, the way they got it in the stove, but that's different. I'll come back to that. Do not buy the Christian ready prepared ground meats or any ready ground meat. Buy the quality meats that you like and have them ground by the Orthodox kosher butchers through their meat grinders, because they do not have the pig near their shops. They are like us. They hate the divinely prohibited flesh. If you must eat rice, please brown it thoroughly in your oven or on top of your stove with a little butter or oil to keep it from sticking. Keep stirring it vigorously. Remember, eat only one meal once every 24 hours. The taking of the prohibited flesh of the swine as a food is beyond righteous imagination. It is difficult to understand why Christians eat such divinely prohibited flesh while having a Bible and the law given to Moses against the swine flesh. Other prophets, down to Muhammad, preached against the eating of the swine. I done heard many Christian people in the church, God talking the dream God gave Peter. God made everything clean. Knowing damn well that just goes to show that you don't even got the understanding of what God was talking about. God made everything clean so I can eat anything. God gave Peter a dream and showed him clean and unclean foods and told Peter to get up and eat. The unclean food was signifying the people that was unclean at the time that God was going to make clean. And anything God make clean, don't you call it unclean. Nevertheless, there are many things that are unclean that is not meant and clean to eat. You see how people take God's word and twist it and bend it and get caught up in it? There are many people in the church, God made everything clean, now I can eat anything. No, you can't. That ain't what God said. You take God's word out of context, you idiot. You tell them that. Go find one of these pastors, people, whatever. They say, I can eat anything. The pig is clean to eat. Because God gave Peter a dream and told him, don't eat anything unclean. He told Peter to eat. And there was some unclean things on there. Peter said, nah. I don't eat nothing unclean. The Lord said, don't you call unclean what I make clean. These idiots use that verse right there. Don't you call anything unclean that I make clean. And then they're gonna say, just pray over your food. Is you dumb? Is you dumb? Is you gonna eat poison and pray over your poison? That's basically what you're saying. Christians are among the largest consumers of pork in America. You ever hear people say you are what you eat? Many of y'all don't know what you're eating. And the moment you stop eating what you're eating, you can switch up what you are. That's simple. Christians are among the largest consumers of pork in America. And they deliver this rat. You know, a pig is a mixture between a dog, a rat, and a cat, I think. Literally. A pig is a hybrid species. It don't got no hair. I'm talking about the pig we think of, the pink pig. I ain't talking about a wild boar. What? I ain't talking about the wild hog that you see out in nature. Word. The wild boar, wild hog. They done took the pig, the wild hog, and made a even more wilder version of it. Word. You ever see the pigs in Africa? They got the tusks. You got the pig in Africa, got tusks coming out the nose. That's a wild hog. But the pig y'all eat is that pink pig. That got no hair. It looked like a rat because it's made from a rat. It also looked like a dog. Don't it got 4 legs like a dog? Because it come from a dog. Also a cat too. Word. That pig is a wild animal. Word. Don't it bark and honk and buck at you? A pig is a wild animal. Word. But that's one of the wildest animals. Word. Anyway, let me keep going. That's why he call it a rat, because the pig come from a rat. It's a word. What is a rat? Like a rat is a weird looking creature. Word. I started thinking about the creatures of all of them tied into one. I don't know who the hell came up with this thing. And then y'all eating it. You ever heard the phrase that y'all eating cats? Well, you kind of are every time you eat pig. Dog too. You eating cats, pig, and rats. And y'all laugh at my Chinese brother because y'all talk about y'all eating stuff from Chinese food. You eating it in a different way. You eat pig, you eating cat, dog, and rat at the same time. Word. Think about that next time you joke about my Chinese brother. Christians are among the largest consumers of pork in America. And they deliver this rat throughout the world to other people. They are so fond of swine flesh that they sacrifice it in the church and then ask divine blessing upon it. They barbecue and cook it and hold a feast in their places of worship and eat this slow, death, poisonous animal which God has forbidden, as though they had an option with God. No wonder Isaiah says that they stand behind one in the tree in the garden eating swine flesh. The abomination, the mouse, and the broth of the swine in their vessels, And yet they will tell all the Muslims and Orthodox Jews that they are holier than we, who don't dare even to touch the swine carcass. Preachers and priests are working along with the enemy or adversary of God, teaching the people that it is all right to eat swine. Their belly stretched with the hog in them and saturated with the whiskey and wine. This is a type of religion under which you have been brought. Christianity and its preachers and priests. None of them have tried to prevent you from breaking this divine law by teaching you the consequences of such an act. Don't none of them tell you this. They just word. You know, I thought about where should I go to? Go to the Quran or go to the Bible? Let me start with something simple. Something all y'all doing. All y'all understand religion or whatever. Y'all got your indifference, but all y'all eat. All y'all eat. All y'all putting food in y'all mouth. You want to solve a fraction, you get to the least common denominator. I said, let's go with the thing what everyone got going on. Some of y'all believe in God, some of y'all don't. You see, don't all y'all got that in common. But all y'all got food in common. And all y'all got this thing in common. What not to eat and what to eat. Many of y'all don't know. You haven't even crossed your mind. For a long time, I thought I was being healthy, drinking Propel water. That water harmful for you. Word. Well, that's word. I thought I was doing something. Won't do a damn thing. Oh. This is a type of religion which you have been brought. Christianity and its preachers and priests, none of them tried to prevent you from breaking this divine law by teaching you the consequences of such an act. They probably don't give a damn or know. Or, to be honest with you, just make it make sense. Just make it make sense. Allah taught me that this grafted animal was made for medical purposes, not for a food for the people, and that this animal destroys the beauty, the beautiful appearance of its eaters. It takes away the shyness of those who eat this brazen flesh. Nature did not give the hog anything like shyness. Take a look at their immoral dress and actions, their worship of filthy songs and dances that an uncivilized animal or savage human being of the jungle cannot even imitate. Yet, average black people who want to be loved by their enemies, regardless of what God thinks of them, have gone to the extreme and trying to imitate the children of their slave masters and all of their wickedness, filthiness, and evil. The Arabic meaning of hog or swine, according to the Arab Muslim and Khanzir, the Arabic meaning of hog or swine, according to one Arab Muslim, is Khanzir. Khan, he says, mean I see. Zir means foul. This is the meaning of the English word swine. Khanzir, or I see the animal foul. The very foul is the best explanation that I have heard to cover the very nature and characteristics of this animal. He is the foulest animal. He lives off nothing but filth. The only way you can get him to live and eat better food is to keep him from eating filth. He is so poisonous, 99.9% that you can hardly poison him with other poison. You can even give him lye, something you think will cut up the intestines when eaten. Snakes can't poison hogs. They eat them and fatten. The poison of a hog is more deadlier than the venom of a snake. The bite of snakes doesn't harm them because they eat the biter. He is so poisonous and filthy that nature had to prepare him a sewer line, and you may find the opening of his forelegs. He is so poisonous and filthy that nature had to prepare him a sewer line, and you may find the opening on his forelegs. It is a little hole out of which oozes pus. Ooh. I didn't know that. I've been reading this. Oh, damn. Damn. This is the filth of his body that cannot be passed fast enough. His poison, the pig, his poison is that of a live nature in the form of a parasitic worm that is called the trichina, commonly known as the porkworm, which is found in the stomach and intestinal walls, until it finally breeds and works itself into the muscles of the body of the eater. From there, the trichina work themselves into the spinal cord and travel the spinal cord toward the brain, at which time there is no possible cure. They then cause the victim to suffer with rheumatism, backaches, stomach aches, headaches, fever, and even change the color of the eyes of some eaters to a dull brown or dull red. They fill the eater with a drowsiness, laziness, slow thinking, slow moving, and tendency to be easily irritated. The swine eaters are ready to rise up for a dispute and fight other people and among themselves. He is the greediest animal. He never knows or cares to stop eating. As long as he sees something to eat, he is the dumbest animal. He keeps his nose smelling and eyes looking for something in the earth. You could feed him all day long, and he would never look up to see his feeder. Damn. In the case of bad weather arising, he is never intelligent enough to go in before it actually starts raining or hailing on his back. He takes no warning. He will keep his head in the earth, rooting until the storm is lashing his back with rain, and the lightning is blinding his eyes. You eat this animal from his snout to his tail, and all of the poisonous wormy intestines. Yet you say you are holier than any religious people. Please learn to eat one meal a day, and let it be without swine flesh, and many of the ailments that you are now suffering and getting medicine from the doctors for will disappear. To you diabetics, eat one meal a day and lay off that starch and sugar. They are only making you sick. Write and let me know that you have tried eating once a day, shunning sugar and starches, and before a week's time, your urine will be negative of sugar and acid negative. It is ignorant for you to suffer with this disease. It is ignorant for you to suffer with this disease when it can easily be cured. Just stop eating that which is causing your trouble. Eat one meal a day. You will not starve and die. Word. I think we have said enough about the poisonous animal called in Arabic khanzir, beyond a shadow of a doubt. The swine is the filthiest and foulest animal human beings could ever have resorted to for food. The flesh of the swine, while cooking, has a very different smell from that of any other animal's flesh while cooking. And even when it is not being cooked, it has a bad smell. Worms and insects take to its flesh, while in the farmer's curing stage, faster, worms and insects take to its flesh, while in the farmer's curing stage, faster than to any other animal's flesh. And in a few days, it is full of worms. In many cases, the eater of the flesh becomes nauseated when the flesh is being cooked in the early morning. It is a divinely prohibited flesh, and God, Allah, has prohibited you and me, my brothers and sisters of the black nation, from eating it, or even touching its dead carcass. Please, for our health's sake, stop eating it. For our beauty's sake, stop eating it. For our obedience to God and His laws against this flesh, stop eating it. For a longer life, stop eating it. And for the sake of modesty, stop eating it. Do you know that if we, the 22 million lost found members of our nation here in America, would stop eating this pig, his poisoned swine flesh, it will mean a great economic saving to us. And I do not think the government will be so eager to eat it themselves if we would obey this divine law against this divinely prohibited flesh. There is an old foolish answer our people have given to such advice. The white folks eat it, and my grandparents ate it, and they to be 75 and 80 years old. If Noah and Methuselah had heard you boasting that your parents lived only 75 or 80 years eating poison, they would have considered your parents as never having grown up to become adults. According to their good way of eating the best food about twice a week and living nearly 1,000 of our present calendar years, which consist of 365 days. God does not punish us for the crime of disobedience to His laws when we are ignorant of His laws. But after knowledge of His laws, He is justified in punishing us by setting the full penalty according to the disobedience. As I have previously said in this book, most vegetables that are sold in the public market are good to eat, with the exception of those Allah prohibits, such as collard greens and the rough turnip salads. You have plenty of other vegetables to eat, and you have good beans other than lima beans, field butter beans called baby lima beans, and black eyed beans, field peas as we call them. You shouldn't eat these. Don't eat the black eyed peas or what they call field peas or baby lima beans or lima beans in general. Don't eat them. Fasting is a greater cure of our ills, both mental and physical. than all of the drugs of the earth combined into one bottle or a billion bottles. Allah, in the person of Master Fraud Muhammad, has taught me that fasting with the right kind of food is the cure for our ills. He has said to me that there is no cure in drugs and medicine. And this the world is now learning. We can take medicine all of our lives until it kills us, yet we are still ailing with the same old disease. The bad food and drinks that we are putting into our bodies keeps us a victim to illness. There are very few nice doctors who would like to tell you that drugs are not good for you. Because they pay for their learning and want to keep practicing, they want to tell you, but because they pay for what they know, they got some word. You know what I mean? They don't want to tell you that because I pay for what I know. Word. If I tell you that, you ain't gonna need me. But how to eat to live is what we want to know and have wanted to know all of our lives. All men and women want to know how they can prolong their lives. Nature teaches us to stay here in this life as long as we can. Nature has never taught anyone that he should leave this life and find another one somewhere else, because we only have one life. And if this life is destroyed, we would have a hard time trying to get more life. It is impossible. So try to keep this life that you have as long as possible. Go when you cannot stay here any longer. Allah taught me that one meal a day will keep us here for a long time. We would live over 100 years eating one meal a day, eating one meal every 2 days. Allah taught me that one meal a day will keep us here for a long time. We will live over 100 years if you just eat once a day, eat the right food. Eating one meal every 2 days will lengthen our lives just that much longer. He said to me that you would never be sick eating one meal every 3 days. The fact that fasting is the cure for 90% of our ills is known by the medical scientists. But they do not teach you that. They know that tobacco, hard whiskey, and alcohol are not good for you and will shorten your life and kill you. But most of them are too weak themselves to stop drinking, smoking, or chewing tobacco. So they do not teach you that tobacco and alcoholic drinks made into what is known as whiskey, beer, and wine are not good for you. Although they know it to be true, they will say, yes, it is good for you if you are temperate. But they know that once you get started on that stuff, it is such an enemy that it just takes you into its power. And it is almost like trying to break an iron chain to get away from the habit. So do not use tobacco in any form and you will live a few years longer. Fast once a month for 3 days, 4 days, or for whatever length of time you are able to go without food, without harming yourself, and you will feel good. Did you know that if you would stop eating pig and the food that you should not eat, stop eating 3 or 4 times a day, and stop drinking whiskey, beer, and wine, you will save much in the way of money? And prolonging your life by abstaining from the pig, alcoholic drinks, and tobacco, you will also be adding money to your savings by hundreds and thousands of dollars. You will be depriving those pig raisers, tobacco growers, and alcoholic distillers of millions of dollars, of which they rob you as they hasten you to your grave. You could stop the tobacco growers from growing that stinky weed by turning away from the use of it. And you could stop the pig raising by not eating the stinky hog. These things are death to your children in their early stages. They even affect the reproductive organs of the people in their earlier ages, as well as affect the heart, the lungs, and the sharpness of thinking, and a sharpness in thinking. And after all of this, you die a victim of poison and commercialization. Eat to live. I'm ended on that. Pick back up on page 22. Y'all be blessed, man. It's a book called How to Eat to Live by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, #1. I believe it's 2 parts to the book. Where that's #1 though. Alright. Y'all be blessed and pay attention to the little bit Allah give y'all. Take heed, man. You hear me? I'm gonna try to finish this out with y'all throughout the week. But y'all be blessed, and I'll see y'all later on, hopefully. Amen. Assalamu alaikum.